Hello, welcome to my video. We're currently at the moment on New Year's Eve, but when this goes up it will be a new year, so happy new year. We're now in 2020. This is all a bit weird for me. I've never done a sit down video, especially with my dog going crazy in the background. She's got really long ears, and when she starts spinning she catches them and it tickles her ears, and then she starts scratching. Right, anyway, as I was saying, I've never done a sit down video before. I don't have any of the fancy software, no fancy cameras. I'm filming this on my phone. Now, I have had a YouTube channel for a couple of years, and I've always posted a singing video and then took it down because I didn't like it a couple of months later. There is currently one still on my channel, but the problem I was having was trying to figure out what to do with my channel. Now, anybody that knows me knows that I watch YouTube every day, and there's so many videos that I watch and love, such a wide variety in the genres that I'd love to create, not just watch. But this is where my issue was. There was that many, I couldn't make my mind up as to what I wanted to do, and now I've decided. So this is my first video on this is my first video for my channel, and I'm actually really excited. My channel is going to be documenting me and my partner's journey to find out if we can have children or not, and if we can, we'll follow the process of that, and if we can't, we'll follow the process, that side of things. But I just really want to document it because I want to, whatever the end result may be and however far away that might be, I really want to just watch back where we started and everything that happened, because I don't know, I just feel like that's a good idea. I don't want to forget bits because it's quite a big part of my life. Children for me is something that I've always really wanted, the same for my partner. So to be going through what we're going through at the minute is a bit disheartening. So I'd like to see what happens, and I want to bring you guys along with me because I want to also help people that may be going through the same situation. So a little bit about me. My name is Jess and I'm 26. And, excuse me, I have a crazy ass dog that doesn't want to leave. Come on then. Oh, thank you. Sit your bum. Thank you. Yeah, cuddles, thanks. I might as well already have children. So, that all being said, let's get on to the video. Disclaimer though, there is TMI and some things could be triggering to some people, so if you don't want to talk about children, a process of it, infertility issues, things like that, then click off. Yeah, so that's out the way. Right, so a bit of a backstory. I've always suffered since I was 17 with heavy and painful periods, and I mean really bad. I've ended up in hospital a couple of times with them. There was a hint of an issue when I was 17, when it all first started. They thought that I might have polycystic ovary syndrome, but that was never looked into. My fault, half of it's my fault, to be honest, because I didn't keep going back and pushing them and trying to get them to sort it out, but also half their fault because apparently they'd never put it on my notes. So when I went to the doctors in January of 2019, there was no record of it. My doctor had all of my records dating back to when I was 15 at my old doctor's practice, and it wasn't on there at all. They spent ages looking for it. So because I was new to that practice, they said that we just had to keep an eye on how heavy they were, how painful they were, how often it happened, whether it was every month or every couple of months. And I started to do that, and then again I got very forgetful, forgot to go back. So last month, so November of 2019, I ended up in really bad pain, and I went to the walk-in centre because it was a weekend, my doctor's wasn't open, but I was in pain, so I needed something. Paracetamol wasn't getting rid of it. My usual painkillers that I have just weren't doing anything. I had spotting, bit of a weird discharge going on. Now, I'm very prone to pelvic inflammatory, where it's just an infection of your pelvis, to be honest. I've always had it, always get it at least once a year, so I just put it down to that. And obviously I know with that, if it doesn't go away after a couple of days, that you go get some antibiotics. Now, I'd had it for about 3 days and it just wasn't going, so that's why I went. They thought it was appendicitis though, because my pain was like on my side here. So they took me up to the hospital, where I saw loads of other doctors, had loads of blood tests, etc, etc. Everything come back fine. I was given antibiotics because they thought, what was it they thought I had? They thought I had a water infection and it had gone to my kidneys, so they thought, we'll try antibiotics and hopefully that will get rid of it. And they did say to me, if in a couple of days it hasn't gone, the pain hasn't gone, then come back. So we fast forward 3 days, pain is getting worse, it's not going, so I went back. They sent me to a surgical assessment unit, so I always forget the name of it, where I saw a surgeon, and he ruled out everything that they had said to me: appendicitis, pelvic infection, water infection, everything. And then said that he thought I had a cyst on my ovary, so that I was to go back in 2 days' time and get an ultrasound and see the doctor after. So that's what I did. I go back in 2 days' time, I have my scan, I wait to see the doctor, and when I eventually get to the doctor, he tells me that the surgeon was right, there was a cyst on my right ovary. Excuse me. So it wasn't an unusual one that they were concerned about it, so they just told me to keep taking my antibiotics, it should go by itself. Anything gets worse though, go back. They always say that to you, don't they? Now, fast forward a week, where I then start my period for that month. Let me tell you, when I say that the pain was the worst I've ever felt, I'm being serious. Now, as I said, I already suffer with really heavy and painful periods to the point where I can't move. Yet this one, not only could I not move, it was taking my breath, it was making me feel sick, I was shaking. So I go back to the walk-in centre, and he was scared after I told him that, they'd found a cyst on my ovary. He was worried that the cyst had twisted my fallopian tube, not the ovary itself, the fallopian tube, and that's why I was in so much pain. So that can be quite dangerous. So he sent me up to the women's hospital, not the normal A&E part like last time, the women's. I see a doctor there, they send me for another ultrasound, and they find that the cyst had burst, which is why I was in agony. My ovaries, no twisting, no fallopian tube twisting, just a burst cyst. But the woman also turned around to me and said that I was displaying symptoms on my scan of endometriosis. It's alright, it's such a big word for me, such a long one. Not good with them. Always struggle to say it. Never mind spell it. And endometriosis is where the lining of your uterus can grow outside of it and cause pain. Now, depending on how bad it is, it can either just make you struggle to conceive, or it can stop it completely. And also, depending on how bad it is, they can either do surgery to remove the uterus lining that's growing outside of it, or they can't. It all depends. Now, I know a lot about it, and my first thought was, well, this is an issue and it's my fault that we can't conceive. Now, she told me, like, you know, don't panic, I'm not the doctor, I can't confirm it, it's just what I'm seeing, which didn't help me at all. So I go to the waiting room, I wait for the doctor calls me in, and she was saying that they weren't concerned, even though my ovaries were kissing, which is the sign, sorry I forgot to say, it's the sign of endometriosis on an ultrasound. Even though they were kissing, it could just be like a one-off thing. Now, when I say kissing, let me explain this, right? I've drew it out so that we'll understand it. This top one is what your ovaries are supposed to look like. So say this is the ultrasound. At the top of an ultrasound, you always have like a little dip, and then you have the womb, and your ovaries sit either side. Now my ovaries were like this, so even if I wanted to conceive, there's not enough room here for an egg to implant itself and start forming, and there's just no room for a baby to sit there. So this is what they were trying to explain to me, but they weren't concerned. She started asking me all these questions about, you know, how often does this happen? Are they always heavy? Are they always painful? Etc. Now, I wasn't concerned because she'd sort of put my mind at ease that there wasn't really an issue until she asked me how long me and my partner have been trying to conceive. And with my answer, her face dropped. So I told her that due to other illnesses that I have, I suffer with seizures, and when I take a hormone contraceptive, so like the pill, implant, everything like that, the hormone surge causes me to have a lot more seizures than normal. So the doctors told me that I couldn't take any of them, and I'm not allowed the coil because I already have heavy and painful periods, and that's a side effect of the coil, so it would just make everything a lot worse for me. I'm also allergic to rubber and latex, so very early on, me and my partner had to come to the decision that if we fell pregnant, we was fine with it, we'd deal with it, and we'd be happy, we'd be fine. That was 5 years ago, and still nothing. So when she asked me how long, and I said, you know, not trying, but we've been having unprotected sex for 5 years, she was a bit concerned and said that with all the signs on the scan and the fact that I haven't conceived yet, maybe there was an issue. So that's where we're at, is we're having to get all these tests done to see whether we can have children or not, and whether I have the endometriosis, which is causing infertility. Now, this is the journey that we want to document, because it's quite a hard time, and I personally haven't really been dealing with it that well. So for me, not only is it documenting our journey through the whole process and figuring out the end result, it's more for me to get my feelings out, have somewhere that I can talk and not worry about who's listening, because it's easy to talk to the people that are in your life, but when they know what's going on in your life, they know about you. Everyone can have opinions and things to say on it, and I just want to be able to say my piece without any opinions being given back to me. So that's where we're at. I will say that we are trying not to get down about it or worried about it, because obviously at the minute we don't know. We've only got doctors' concerns and worries and opinions, and that's not much to go off at all. But to know that there may be an issue with you and your body may not be able to do what it's supposed to do, you kind of can't get that thought out of your head, to be honest. You can't not think about it and not worry about it. So there's a lot of emotions that come with it. You feel happy one minute, you feel angry the next. And when I say happy, I mean positive, as in, you know, it might not be that. Let's think positively about it and just see what happens along the way. But then you have your monthly and you're in agony and you're reminded of it all over again. So you go through a cycle, and that cycle is mentally draining. Having all these emotions all the time, constantly going round, it's draining. It really is, to the point where that's where my low mood has come in, because my brain's just not dealing with any of that. You feel angry because it's like, well, they thought this when I was 17 and nothing was ever done. I'm now 26. So we're coming up to 10 years of me being in pain every month and having all these emotions and not being listened to. It's like, why didn't you listen to me? So you get a bit of anger and resentment towards your doctors and people around you that haven't listened to you either. But to be honest, there's not many that haven't. There's like one or two. And then you get, this is one of the emotions I don't like. You feel jealous. It's like the last few weeks I've seen, to be honest, before I found out that I might not be able to have children, I never got jealous of seeing people posting about, you know, their new little bundles of joy that they've just brought into the world and all the photos that come after it. But since getting that news, it seems to be every time that I see a post, I feel jealous. Because it's like, well, I might not have that and that's all I want. But then you start to feel angry because, well, why am I feeling jealous? I shouldn't be feeling jealous. I should be happy for them, and I am. But with that jealousy, it makes me angry. It does make me angry. Because I shouldn't be feeling jealous. Like, it's such a beautiful moment for these people. And then you feel upset because you're not dealing with it. Me personally, I've become very low. I cry all the time, very randomly. And I think, to be honest, it's because it's in the back of my head, you know, the process that I'm about to start and what it all means. I've become very snappy to the people around me, especially my partner. And then that sets off more anger and hurt because you're being horrible to the people around you that it's not their fault. So why are you being horrible to them? And it's just this constant thought process. I do think that we're on the right track though. Me and my partner are very good with talking about our feelings and issues as soon as they occur, so we have been talking quite a lot about it, but that still hasn't changed the fact that I've not been the best towards him lately, and that hurts. I'm hoping that once this process starts and we get a little bit further into it, not all of it, but most of it, like the jealousy and the anger, will kind of stop and I can change my mindset to a more positive one. I'm trying not to make it a down thing. But no, that's an introduction as to what you're going to see on this channel is our journey. You might meet him as well. He's not a camera person like I am, so you're probably not going to see him that much. But I will try. But please, if anybody has any advice, like you've gone through it or you're going through it, please can I have some tips on the best ways to not exactly stop all the thoughts and the feelings, but just cope with them a bit better, because I've personally never gone through anything as big as this, and it is a big thing. So my brain is just not working at all, especially with my other illness on top of it. Stress makes it worse, so my seizures have been a lot more, and then my brain can't deal with that either. I'm like sensory overload at the moment. So no, if you've got any tips, please can you tell me. And no, I just really hope that this journey helps other people and you enjoy following us within it. I will leave my social media links in the description too, so that if you want to follow those, you can, because it will be on there too. But no, I'm excited at the same time as apprehensive, because I finally found what I wanted to do with my YouTube, and that excites me more than anything. And I'm also really hoping that by doing this, it focuses my mind and gives me something to put that positivity back into my life and my thought process. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and I'm hopefully going to be posting either once or twice a week. I haven't decided yet. I still need to figure out all of the structure to my channel, but Happy New Year, and let's start a nice journey together. Will it be nice? I don't know, but we'll start it together. So no, thank you for watching, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.